9-year-old Maya Johnson was a bright and cheerful girl. She lived with her father, Derek Johnson, a man she admired more than anything in the world. Ever since her mother passed away, it had just been the two of them. That morning, Maya was excited about school. It was a hot day, so she wore a comfortable white t-shirt and her favorite cotton underwear. She was only a kid. She didn't think much about what she was wearing. Her father glanced at her outfit before she left. "You sure you don't want to wear shorts?" he asked. Maya smiled. "It's fine, Daddy. It's too hot today." He hesitated, but nodded. Maya had always followed the rules. What was the worst that could happen? But as she walked into school, she had no idea that today would be the most humiliating day of her life. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? As soon as Maya entered her classroom, Miss Collins's eyes locked onto her. Her face twisted in disgust. "Maya Johnson, come here, now." Maya froze. All the students turned to look at her. Whispers started. What did she do wrong? Miss Collins stormed up to her, looking furious. "Where are your pants?" she demanded. Maya's heart sank. "Miss Collins, I just wore a t-shirt and my underwear. It's really hot today." Miss Collins cut her off. "This is completely unacceptable. You are practically naked in a classroom full of students. Do you have any idea how inappropriate this is?" The room went silent. Maya felt every pair of eyes staring at her. Her face turned red. I didn't think it was a problem," she whispered. Miss Collins shook her head in disgust. "You are breaking the dress code. Go to the principal's office right now." Maya's eyes filled with tears. She turned around and walked out, her classmates whispering behind her. Maya had never felt so humiliated in her life. She kept her head down as she walked through the hallway. Teachers saw her, but no one stopped her. No one asked what happened. She finally reached the office, tears spilling down her cheeks. The secretary looked up and frowned. "What happened, sweetheart?" Maya sniffled. "Miss Collins, she sent me home because of my clothes." The secretary sighed. "Oh, honey, let's call your dad." Maya dialed her father's number with trembling hands. "Daddy, I need you to come pick me up." There was a long pause on the other end. Then, in a voice that sent chills down her spine, her father said, "I'm on my way." 20 minutes later, a black SUV pulled up in front of the school. Derek Johnson stepped out. He wasn't just angry, he was furious. Dressed in a sharp black suit, he walked straight into the school, his presence demanding attention. Teachers and students turned to look at him as he passed. He didn't stop at the front desk. He didn't ask for permission. He walked directly into the principal's office. Inside, Principal Edwards and Miss Collins were waiting. "Mr. Johnson, please," the principal started, but Derek slammed his hands on the desk. "Why was my daughter sent home?" His voice was calm, but dangerously cold. Miss Collins folded her arms. "Mr. Johnson, your daughter came to school in her underwear. That is completely inappropriate." Derek's eyes darkened. "Did you ever stop to ask why? Did you ever consider that she is just a child? Did you bother calling me before humiliating her in front of her classmates?" Miss Collins stuttered. "Well, we have rules." Derek leaned forward. "Let me tell you something, Miss Collins. I am a civil rights attorney. I have spent my career fighting discrimination and injustice. And what you did today, that was not about dress code. That was about power. You humiliated a child instead of showing compassion. And now, You're going to face the consequences. The moment Derek Johnson left the school, he made a phone call. By the next morning, Maya's story was all over the news. Parents started protesting outside the school. Justice for Maya. Signs filled the streets. The school board held an emergency meeting. Emails and calls flooded in. People demanded answers. Miss Collins was suspended indefinitely. And Principal Edwards? Forced to issue a public apology. The dress code policy was completely changed. But most importantly, Maya walked back into school with her head held high. That night, Maya sat on the couch with her dad. "Daddy, did I do something wrong?" she asked softly. Derek smiled, tucking her hair behind her ear. "Never, sweetheart. You didn't do anything wrong. The problem wasn't you. It was the way they treated you. And we don't let people treat us unfairly." Maya hugged him tightly, and at that moment, she knew. Her father wasn't just her protector. He was her warrior. If you like this kind of stories, then don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon.